إذا كنت تريد أن تكون على مذهب السلف تعلم مذهب السلف.
الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على خير الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. نعم أيها الأخوة, فإن شاء الله we continue with our reading of the Aqīdah of Al-Sunnah wal-Jama'ah by Shaykh Muhammad ibn Salih Al-Uthaymeen rahmatullahi alayh. So the Shaykh rahimahullah says, وَنُؤْمِنُ بأن للنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم خلفاء راشدين خلفوه في أمته علما ودعوة وولاية على المؤمنين, وبأن أفضلهم وأحقهم بالخلافة أبو بكر الصديق ثم عمر بن الخطاب ثم عثمان بن عفان ثم علي بن أبي طالب رضي الله عنهم أجمعين. So the Shaykh rahimahullah, he said, and we believe, the Aqīdah of Ahl-Sunnah is that we affirm and we believe that the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, that he had successors, rightly guided successors, and they were successors of this ummah in regards to their knowledge and in regards to their da'wah and in regards to their leadership of the believers. And likewise we believe, and from the Aqīdah and the belief of Ahl-Sunnah wal-Jama'ah is that the best of them and the most deserving of the Khilafah from amongst them was Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, and then Umar, and then Uthman, and then Ali radiyallahu ta'ala anhum. وهكذا كانوا في الخلافة قدرا كما كانوا في الفضيلة, وما كان الله تعالى وله الحكمة البالغة ليولي على خير القرون رجلا وفيهم من هو خير منه وأجدر بالخلافة. Now, and he says likewise that they, with regards to their leadership, the Khilafah, that they had a tremendous virtue, tremendous virtue, and it was not for Allah Ta'ala, whilst He has extensive wisdom, that He would place as a leader over the best generations, or the best generations in the whole of human existence, that He would place over them a man, whilst there is someone who is better than him and more deserving than him for this position of the Khilafah. وَنُؤْمِنُ بِأَنَّ الْمَفْضُولَ مِنْ هَؤُلَاءِ قد يتميز بخصيصة يفوق فيها من هو أفضل منه لكنه لا يستحق بها الفضل المطلق على من فضله لأن موجبات الفضل كثيرات متنوعة. And likewise we believe in the Aqīdah of Ahl-Sunnah wal-Jama'ah, and the belief of Ahl-Sunnah wal-Jama'ah is that even though the one who may have been given precedence over him, that he may have a specific virtue that places him a level above another in regards to a specific affair, but he, however, is not deserving of the Khilafah due to this specific affair. Rather, we go to the one who generally has this virtue. وَنُؤْمِنُ بِأَنَّ هذه الأمة خير الأمم وأكرمها على الله عز وجل لقوله تعالى كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر وتؤمنون بالله. And likewise we believe that that this ummah, this nation is the best of nations. Is the best of nations, and Allah Ta'ala has honored them. As Allah Ta'ala said, that you are the best nation to be brought forth amongst the people, that you order with the good and you forbid the evil, and you believe in Allah. وَنُؤْمِنُ بِأَنَّ خَيْرَ هَذِهِ الْأُمَّةِ الصَّحَابَةِ ثُمَّ التَّابِعُونَ ثُمَّ تَابِعُوهُمْ. And we believe, Ahl-Sunnah wa Jama'ah believe, that the best of this ummah is the Sahaba, is the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then those who followed him from the tabi'un, and then those who followed them from those who came after the tabi'un. وبأنه لا تزال طائفة من هذه الأمة على الحق ظاهرين لا يضرهم من خذلهم أو خالفهم حتى يأتي أمر الله عز وجل. And likewise we believe that there will not cease to exist a group from amongst this nation that are manifest upon the truth, and they will not be harmed by the one who seeks to deceive them, nor are they harmed by the one who seeks to oppose them, up until the affair of Allah Ta'ala comes. ونعتقد أن ما جرى بين الصحابة رضي الله عنهم من الفتن فقد صدر عن تأويل اجتهدوا فيه، فمن كان منهم مصيبا كان له أجران، ومن كان منهم مخطئا فله أجر واحد، نعم، وخطئه مغفور له. And we believe and we hold as our Aqīdah, the Aqīdah of Al-Sunnah wal-Jama'ah, that which took place amongst the companions of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in regards to fitan, in regards to trials and tribulations, that it took place by way of a ta'wil, of an interpretation that they had strove in, and perhaps the one who was wronged them, the one who was wronged from amongst them, that for him he still gets 2 rewards, and the one who was right from amongst them, the one who was right from amongst them, then he gets 2 rewards. As for the one who is wrong from amongst them, then for him is 1 reward, and his mistake is overlooked. وَنَرَى أَنَّهُ يَجِبُ أَن نَكُفَّ عَنْ مَسَاوِئِهِمْ فَلَا نَذْكُرْهُمْ إِلَّا بِمَا يَسْتَحِقُونَهُ مِنَ الثَّنَاءِ الْجَمِيلِ، وأن نطهر قلوبنا من الغل والحقد على أحد منهم، لقوله تعالى فيهم لا يستوي منكم من أنفق من قبل الفتح وقاتل أولئك أعظم درجة من الذين أنفقوا من بعد وقاتلوا وكلا وعد الله الحسنى، وقوله تعالى فينا والذين جاءوا من بعدهم يقولون ربنا اغفر لنا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك رؤوف رحيم. And we believe and we hold, Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah hold and believe that it is an obligation for us to restrict ourselves from mentioning any of their faults. Rather, we do not mention them except with that which they deserve by way of praise. And we purify our hearts from any hatred, for any one of the Sahaba. And that is due to the statement of Allah Ta'ala that they are not equal from amongst you those who spent their wealth before the conquest, the conquest of Mecca, and they thought that they are a better or higher station than those who spent their wealth afterwards and fought. And all of them Allah Ta'ala has promised Al-Husna. Al-Husna meaning Al-Jannah. All of them Allah Ta'ala has promised with Jannah. And likewise Allah Ta'ala said about those who come after them. Those who come after them say, "Oh our Lord, do not place, oh our Lord, forgive us and our brothers who have preceded us in Al-Iman, and do not place in our hearts any hatred for those who believe." So in short, in summary, this is the Aqīdah of Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah with regards to the Sahaba of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the first thing we're going to discuss is what is or who is a Sahabi. The definition of a Sahabi. Man huwa Sahabi? A Sahabi, and some of the ulama have come with different ta'rifat, different definitions of who is considered as a Sahabi, and the correct one is that which was mentioned by Al-Hafidh ibn Hajar rahimahullah ta'ala, where he mentioned the Sahabi is man laqiya an-nabiyya sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mu'minan bihi wa mata ala dhalik. So the one who met the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam And some of the ulama, they use the wording man ra'a an-nabi, whoever saw the Prophet ﷺ. And however, there's no doubt this ta'rif that we have given, this definition that we're giving, is better than that. Because there are some Sahaba who are blind and they were not able to physically see Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. However, they met him. So it's more correct to say those who met the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, mu'minan bihi, believing in him. Believing in him. وَمَاتَ عَلَى ذَلِكَ, and they died upon that. Meaning they died believing in that. They remained upon al-Islam. Now, so when we say the one who met Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, that is excluding those who were alive at his time, however they did not meet him. So even if they were alive at the same time as Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam and they believed in him, however they did not meet him, then they are not considered as a Sahabi, because they did not meet him. So there has to be the occurrence of a meeting. You have to physically meet Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. Second thing is mu'minan bihi, believing in him. Believing in him. So this excludes those who were at his time and that they saw him or perhaps met Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, however they did not believe in him. وَمَاتَ عَلَى ذَلِكَ, and those who died upon that, meaning that they died whilst believing in him. This excludes those who apostated from Islam, and it excludes those who were at that time when Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, that embraced Islam. However, when Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam died, or before their death rather, they apostated and left al-Islam. So it excludes them. The second thing I'd like to discuss is the tabaqat, tabaqat al-Sahaba, the different levels of the Sahaba, because we know that they differ in regards to their virtue and they differ in regards to their levels. So some of the ulama have divided them up into different types of categories. So we find from amongst the ulama those who have divided them into 4 categories. And we find from amongst the ulama those who have divided them into 5 categories. And there are some which we're going to mention, which is the taqsim of Al-Hakim, where he divided them into 12 categories. So it's more extensive, it's more inclusive. And where he divided them into 12 different categories. So the first category he gave, he said, قوم أسلموا بمكة مثل أبي بكر وعمر وعثمان وعلي وغيرهم رضي الله عنهم. So he said, the first category or the first level of the Sahaba is those who embraced Islam in Al-Makkah, embraced Islam in Mecca. The likes of Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Ali, and other than them, who embraced Islam in Mecca, meaning at the start, from the early period of Al-Islam. The second category he mentions, أصحاب دار الندوة أو دار الأرقم. وذلك لما أسلم عمر بن الخطاب رضي الله عنه وأظهر إسلامه حمل رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إلى دار الندوة أو الأرقم. And they are the companions or the people of what is called as the Dar al-Nadwa, or some of the ulama said it's more correct to say Dar al-Arqam. And it was a place where when Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anhu, when he embraced Islam and he displayed his Islam, that they carried Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam to this specific place. And a group of people embraced Islam. فبايعه جماعة من أهل مكة, and a group of people gave their bay'ah, their pledge of allegiance to Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam and accepted al-Islam. The third level, al-muhajaratu il-habasha, those who migrated with Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam to Habasha. The fourth level, الذين بايعوا النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم عند العقبة الأولى. So those who gave their pledge of allegiance to Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. And the first pledge of allegiance that took place. Then we have the fifth level, أصحاب العقبة الثانية. Those, when there was a second Uqbah that took place, that they gave Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam their pledge of allegiance. Then the sixth level, أول المهاجرين الذين وصلوا إلى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وهو بقباء قبل أن يدخلوا المدينة ويبني المسجد. So they were the first of the muhajirin. They were the first of the muhajirin who arrived and they reached the Messenger of Allah صلى الله عليه وسلم whilst he was at Quba, because he remained at Quba for some time before entering into Al-Madinah and before building his masjid sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So those who reached him whilst he was still in Quba and hadn't yet entered into Medina. The seventh level, Ahlul Badr, the people of Al-Badr. The eighth level, Al-Muhajiratu alladhina hajaru bayna Badr wal Hudaybiyah. Those who migrated between Badr and Hudaybiyah. Between the events of Badr and between Hudaybiyah. The ninth level, Ahlu Bay'at al-Ridwan. Those who gave the Bay'ah of Ar-Ridwan. Tenth level, Al-Muhajirah بين الحديبية والفتح. فمنهم خالد بن الوليد وعمر بن عاص وأبو هريرة رضي الله عنهم. Those who migrated between the events of Hudaybiyah and before the conquest of Mecca. And from amongst them was Khalid bin Walid and Amr ibn Aas and Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhum. The 11th level, الذين أسلموا يوم الفتح. Those who accepted Islam, embraced Islam on the day of the conquest of Mecca. And the 12th and final level, صبيان وأطفال رأوا النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يوم الفتح وفي حجة الوداع وغيرها. Those children and those who were not yet of age who had seen the Messenger of Allah صلى الله عليه وسلم on the day of the conquest or on his final Hajj and other than it. So they had seen Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, however they were still children. They were not yet of age. Now, so that is the category of Al-Hakim, and as we mentioned, there are other more concise and different ways of categorizing the Sahaba, and perhaps Al-Hakim here, rahimahullah, that he categorized them according to history, in terms of what took place and the events that occurred in history. And there are those from amongst the ulama who categorize them in regards to their fadl, in regards to their virtue. So there are different ways of categorizing the Sahaba. So now we go on to another issue that Shaykh Muhammad bin Salih Al-Uthaymeen rahimahullah touched on, and that is that all of the Sahaba, جميع الصحابة ثقات عدول, that all of the Sahaba are trustworthy. All of them are trustworthy. وكلهم موعود بالجنة, and all of them have been promised Jannah. بنص ربنا عز وجل حيث قال as we read before previously, لا يستوي منكم من أنفق من قبل الفتح وقاتل أولئك أعظم درجة من الذين أنفقوا من بعد وقاتلوا وكل وعد الله الحسنى. So Allah Ta'ala says that all of them we have promised Al-Husna. Al-Husna. And as we discussed previously when we went through the Aqīdah of seeing Allah Ta'ala, and we discussed the ayah لِلَّذِينَ أَحْسَنُوا الْحُسْنَى وَزِيَادَةً. For those who do good is Al-Husna and Al-Ziyada. And perhaps some of the ikhwa remember when we went through that Aqīdah series, the tafsir that we mentioned in detail of the wording Al-Husna. Al-Husna we mentioned from the tafasir of the Imma, they mentioned that Al-Husna is Al-Jannah. Al-Husna is Al-Jannah. And it's come in hadith as well when Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam explained this verse. Yani for those who do good is Al-Husna wa Ziyada. Yani Al-Husna meaning Al-Jannah. Meaning Jannah. So Allah says, and all of them we have promised Al-Husna. Meaning all of them we have promised Jannah. And we mentioned the Ziyada being what? Seeing Allah. The Ziyada is seeing Allah, because that has to be an increase. Yani Ziyada is an increase of Jannah. What is better than Jannah? Seeing Allah. Naam. So as we discussed when we spoke about the Aqīdah of seeing Allah, that when the word Al-Husna comes, it's referring to Al-Jannah and Jannah. Naam. So Allah Ta'ala said regarding Sahaba that وَكُلًّا, all of them, وَعَدَ اللَّهُ الْحُسْنَى, that all of them Allah Ta'ala has promised Al-Jannah. So Allah here is speaking about the Sahaba, and all of them have been promised Jannah. Now, Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah has a nice statement in regards to this affair of the Sahaba being thiqat and udul and trustworthy, and that Allah Jalla wa Ala has promised them Jannah. Is a very nice statement where he said, rahimahullah ta'ala, فَاللَّهُ سُبْحَانَهُ أَعْلَمُ حَيْثُ يَجْعَلُ رِسَالَتِهِ نعم فيؤديها إلى عباده بالأمانة والنصيحة وتعظيم المرسل والقيام بحقه والصبر على أوامره والشكر لنعمه والتقرب إليه ومن لا يصلح من الأمم لوراثة رسله والقيام بخلافتهم وحمل ما بلغوه عن ربهم. نعم. So Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah, he says that Allah Ta'ala is the most knowledgeable about where He places His message. About where He places His message. فهو أعلم بمن يصلح أو يصلح لتحمل رسالته. So he is also more knowing, the most knowing about who is deserving of carrying his message. Allah Ta'ala knows best of where to place his message, and He is the most knowing of who is deserving and who is befit to carry this message, so that they may convey it to Allah's slaves with trust, yani in trust. So these two reasons here alone, Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah mentions that this shows that the companions are trustworthy, because Allah Ta'ala has chosen them to carry this deen, to carry His deen that He has sent down, and to carry it and to convey it to the ummah. Allah Ta'ala has chosen them. So if it was the case that they were untrustworthy, then Allah Ta'ala would not have chosen them to convey and to carry His message. Allah Ta'ala has chosen them, and this shows, and it's a refutation upon those who criticize the Sahaba and claim that some of them are untrustworthy. Then we respond to them. Obviously we're going to go through also more in detail in regards to specific texts. But besides the text, from an intellectual point of view, that we say to them, then how is it the case that Allah Ta'ala, given the importance that He has placed on this deen, on His tremendous deen, that He would entrust this group of people with carrying this message if they were untrustworthy? This is something that is غير معقول. It doesn't make sense. That Allah Ta'ala would entrust a group of people with His deen and to carry it to the ummah, and would deem them at the same time to be untrustworthy. And how would that make sense? So just from that angle alone is a refutation upon them. Rather, Allah is Al-Hakim. Allah is all-wise. And He knows where He wishes to place His message and who is befitting to carry this message and to convey it to the people. And Allah Ta'ala chose that these companions to carry that message, to take it from Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam and to convey it and teach it to the people. The next point we're going to discuss is the virtues of the Sahaba. And no doubt that their virtues are many. And this in itself would take many sittings to go through their virtues, generally speaking, their general virtues. And no doubt even more sittings to go through their specific virtues, in regards to specific companions and their specific virtues. However, we mention some of what has been mentioned with regards to their virtues, and it's sufficient that Allah Ta'ala has praised them in the Quran, has mentioned them, and has chosen them, as we said, to carry this deen. And from that praise that Allah Ta'ala has mentioned, وَالسَّابِقُونَ الْأَوَّلُونَ مِنَ الْمُهَاجِرِينَ وَالْأَنصَارِ وَالَّذِينَ اتَّبَعُوهُم بِإِحْسَانٍ رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُمْ وَرَضُوا عَنْهُ وَعَدَّ لَهُمْ جَنَّاتٍ تَجْرِي تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها أبدا ذلك الفوز العظيم. So Allah Ta'ala said regarding them that those first and foremost from amongst the Muhajirin and the Ansar and those who follow them in good, then Allah is pleased with them and they are pleased with Him. And Allah has prepared for them Jannat, gardens in which rivers flow under, abiding therein forever, and that is the ultimate success. So Allah Ta'ala here has praised them, and said and has informed us that He is pleased with them, that He is pleased with them and He has prepared for them gardens. In another verse Allah Ta'ala said, محمد رسول الله والذين معه أشداء على الكفار رحماء بينهم تراهم ركعا سجدا يبتغون فضلا من الله ورضوانه سيماهم في وجوههم من أثر السجود إلى آخر الآية. Allah Ta'ala said that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah and those who are with him are severe against the kuffar. رحماء بينهم, and they are merciful between them. That you will see them making a ruku' and making sujood, seeking the pleasure of Allah, His virtue and His pleasure. So there's another praise for the companions. And no doubt, ikhwah, that there are many ayat talking about the Sahaba, and we suffice with those two, but there are in reality many ayat that I mentioned with regards to the virtue of the Sahaba, and even mentioning the specific virtue of some of the, specifically mentioned the virtue of some of the Sahaba. But we'll suffice with those ayat. And from the Sunnah, to mention some hadith as well. ومن السنة قوله صلى الله عليه وسلم النجوم أمنة للسماء فإذا ذهبت النجوم أتى السماء ما توعد وأنا أمنة لأصحابي فإذا ذهبت أتى أصحابي ما يوعدون وأصحابي أمنة لأمتي فإذا ذهب أصحابي أتى أمتي ما يوعدون. Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam said that the stars are a source of security for the sky, and if the stars were to disappear, then that which the sky is promised will come to pass. And I am the source of security for my companions, and if I go, then that which is promised to my companions will come to pass. And my companions, and this is the shahid here, this is the main point, that my companions are the source of security for my nation, for my ummah. And if my companions go, then my ummah, then that which my ummah has been promised will come to pass. Then it will come to pass. So what is being discussed in this hadith? What is that which they are promised? And what is that the ummah have been promised? So Imam Nawawi rahimahullah ta'ala explaining this hadith in his sharh of Muslim, he says معناه من ظهور البدع والحوادث في الدين والفتن. And then he mentioned some of the alamat as-sa'ah. Nawawi said that in explanation of the statement of Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, that if my companions go, meaning if they pass away, then that which my ummah has been promised will come to pass. What have they been promised? Meaning that from the appearance of bid'ah, from the appearance of innovations and calamities in the religion, and trials and tribulations. And likewise he mentioned some of the signs of the hour. So the companions, as Nabi ﷺ said, that they are a source of security for this ummah, meaning they are protecting the ummah from these things that Imam Nawawi rahimahullah mentioned. They're protecting them from bid'ah, from innovations, from these calamities and afflictions and tribulations that occur in the deen. وقوله صلى الله عليه وسلم عليكم بسنتي وسنة الخلفاء الراشدين المهديين عضوا عليها بالنواجذ. In another hadith, Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam said, upon you is my sunnah, and the sunnah of the rightly guided khulafa, caliphs. Bite onto it with your molar teeth. This also demonstrates the importance of the Sahaba, the virtues of the Sahaba, that we are to also follow their way. In another hadith, Nabi ﷺ said, إِذَا ذُكِرَ أَصْحَابِي فَأَمْسِكُوا. If my companions are mentioned, then withhold. If my companions are mentioned, then remain silent. Withhold, remain silent. Meaning, do not fall into criticizing them. وقال صلى الله عليه وسلم من سب أصحابي فعليه لعنة الله والملائكة والناس أجمعين. Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam said, whoever insults my companions, then upon him is the curse of Allah, and the curse of the angels, and the curse of all of the people. So that leads us to an issue, and that is the ruling with regards to the one who insults the companions. The ruling with regards to the one, as it relates to the one who curses or insults the companions. Ibn Uthaymeen rahimahullah ta'ala, that he categorized it into 3 categories. And the one who curses Sahaba, that he falls into one of 3 categories. So he mentions rahimahullah أن يصبهم بما يقتضي كفر أكثرهم أو أن عامتهم فسقوا فهذا كفر لأنه تكذيب لله ورسوله بالثناء عليهم والترضي عنهم بل من شك في كفر مثل هذا فإن كفره متعين. So he says that the first category is the one who insults the Sahaba with that which necessitates disbelieving in most of them, the majority of them. Or he says, for example, that most of the companions, that they fasaqu, they are fusaq, they are evildoers or wrongdoers. And the Shaykh ta'ala says, no doubt that this is kufr. No doubt that this type of insulting of the companions is disbelief. And that is because he is now disbelieving and denying Allah and the Rasul in regards to the praise of the companions. And the fact that Allah Ta'ala, as we mentioned previously, that Allah is pleased with them. So that's the first type. Second type, or second category, أن يصبهم باللعن والتقبيح ففي كفره قولان لأهل العلم وعلى القول بأنه لا يكفر يجب أن يجلد ويحبس حتى يموت أو يرجع عما قال. So the second type is that he says that a person insults the companions by way of cursing them and being disrespectful and the like. So with regards to this person, in regards to his disbelief, there are 2 statements of Ahlul Ilm. As Ibn Uthaymeen said, that even based upon the statement that he has not disbelieved, still those who hold him to have not disbelieved by way of this, then they also hold that it is wajib, it's obligatory for him to be lashed and for him to be punished up until he dies or he retracts his statement. So even those who held that those who curse the companions, that this person is not to have disbelieved, even those who hold that opinion, they also say that he is to be punished. That he is to be punished. The third category, أن يصبهم بما لا يقدح في دينهم. كالجبن والبخل فلا يكفر ولكن يعذر بما يردعه عن ذلك. So he says, as for the one who curses or insults them, rather he insults them with that which does not disparage their deen, does not mention anything with regards to their religion. Rather he's talking about, for example, their characteristic or of that sort. To say, for example, that this particular Sahabi, that he was stingy, he was miserly, or he was any insults that don't that don't concern his deen. So in terms of his character, then Ibn Uthaymeen said that this person has not disbelieved, but likewise he is to be punished. He is to be punished. We're going to read briefly from what Shaykh Ubaid, Hafidhullah Ta'ala, Shaykh Ubaid bin Abdullah Jabari, Hafidhullah Ta'ala, mentioned in regards to an issue that we mentioned briefly from the speech of Ibn Uthaymeen rahimahullah, and that is with regards to that which the Sahaba differed in. So our understanding or how Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, how we understand and how we deal with that which the Sahaba radiallahu anhum had differed in. How do we deal with that, which Ibn Uthaymeen mentioned briefly as we read earlier. So Shaykh Ubaid Hafidhullah Ta'ala says He says that we say نعم وجد اختلاف في أمور من فروع الدين بين أصحاب رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. وقرر المحققون أنهم ليس بينهم خلاف في أصول الدين في العقائد، فجميع العقائد نفيا أو إثباتا تلقاها أصحاب النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وأخذوها عنه واجتمعوا عليها ولم يفترقوا فيها. So before we discuss that issue, we're going to discuss with regards to the differing of the Sahaba. The differing of the Sahaba, and if they differ in regards to the deen. So the Shaykh says, Hafidhullah Ta'ala, yes, they differed in regards to the branches of the deen. They had differings amongst them in regards to the furu' or the branches of the deen. However, their differing was not with regards to the usul of the deen, with the foundations of the deen, or the aqīdah, the belief. So all of the belief he mentions here with regards to negating, in regards to affirming certain attributes or anything in aqīdah, then the Sahaba, they took this directly from Nabi alayhi salatu wassalam, and that they had all agreed upon it, and they did not differ in this regard. وأما الفروع فإنما اختلفوا فيه ينظر في دليله فيرجح ما كان نصا في الدليل أو مقاربا للدليل ولا يثرب على الآخرين وهذه قاعدة عامة. So as for the branches in which they differed in, then we are to look into the evidence. We look into the evidence, and we look at which evidence is behind the opinion, or is close, or which opinion is close to the evidence or closest to the evidence. However, we do not blame we do not blame the others, those who differed or those who had a different opinion that was not in accordance with the evidence. So now we come on to another issue that the Shaykh Hafidhullah Ta'ala briefly mentions. He says, ما موقف المسلم حيال ما جاء عن الصحابي رضي الله عنه. So he says, what is the position of the Muslim regarding that which has come on the companions? Meaning, with regards to the narrations, the athar, the narrations of the companions. What is the position of the Muslim with regards to this? So the Shaykh Hafidhullah Ta'ala says, أقول هذا يتضمن صورا أولها ما كان رواية عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فهذا مقبول قطعا ولا شك فيه. So he says this comprises of different scenarios. He said the first one is that which is a narration of the Prophet ﷺ, that which they are narrating and relaying back to Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, then this is accepted, it's accepted and there's no doubt in the matter. So that's the first, the first scenario. Now, so the first one, that which is a narration directly from the Prophet ﷺ, so the Sahabi narrating something directly from Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, then this is accepted without any doubt. Now, the second one, ما صح عن الصحابي ولم يصح رجوعه إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وكان مما لا مجال للاجتهاد فيه فله عند أئمة الحديث حكم الرفع ما لم يكن الصحابي مكثرا عن الأخذ من أهل الكتاب. So the second one is that which has come that is authentic, it's been authenticated that this is a statement of the companion and is not authentic or is not rightly attributed to Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. But however, this narration is from that which there's no room for making ijtihad in. There's no room for making any form of ijtihad with regards to it. Then this type of narration with the scholars of hadith, then it has the ruling of being attributed directly to Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. It still takes the same ruling. As long as, the Shaykh mentions here, as long as that companion was not known for constantly narrating or taking from the people of the book. I'll give you an example to make that clearer. So, for example, with regards to the asbab al-nuzul, so when you come to the reasons of why a specific ayah was revealed. So if the Sahabi is mentioning a specific reason for why the ayah is revealed, then there is no room for them to make ijtihad in that regard. It's not fair that they can make ijtihad from their own selves and put their own input into. Rather, this is with regards to the revelation. So no doubt that if it's authentically attributed to the Sahabi, that he is saying that the reason for this ayah being revealed is kada wa kada, is this or that. There's no doubt that this is something, an affair that has no room for ijtihad, and it's something that takes the ruling of being related and going back to Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. As long as that companion is not someone who is known to constantly take from the people of the book, because however they could fall into confusion with regards to certain stories or certain affairs that happen, whether they may not know whether this was a story from Bani Israel or whether this was an actual occurrence. So there may be some confusion there. So to avoid that confusion, that the Sahabi who was not known to take from, constantly take from the people of the book, and he narrates something of that regard, like we mentioned, the asbab al-nuzul, the reasons of why the specific ayat were revealed, then that takes the ruling of being attributed back to Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. The third one, ما كان قولا أو فعلا للصحابي رضي الله عنه فهذا لا يخلو عن أحوال. That which is a statement or an action of the companion. So it's a statement or an action of the companion. So he's not attributing it to Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. Rather it's his own statement or his own action. So it's not the Sahabi saying that this is the statement or action of Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. Rather it is the Sahabi's statement or his own action. Then this is of different types. First one, أن يوافق نصا صحيحا عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أو حسنا أو قابلا للجبر فهذا الواجب قبوله. The first one is that it is in accordance, or this statement of the companion or his action is in accordance with an authentic narration, another authentic narration of the Prophet ﷺ, or something, or a hadith, for example, of the Prophet ﷺ, which is hasan, at least hasan, meaning that it's good, its chain is good, or that its chain is acceptable to be made strong through other various chains. Then we must accept this. It's an obligation to accept this, because it is in accordance to an evidence or another hadith that is authentically attributed to Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. The second one is that which ما كان مجمعا عليه بين الصحابة رضي الله عنهم فهذا كذلك يجب قبوله لأن الإجماع من أدلة الأحكام المعتبرة فهو حجة في نفسه سواء علم دليله أو لم يعلم. So that which, the second one is that which the Sahaba had agreed upon. So you have a companion who's done an action, or he said a statement, and all of the companions had agreed upon that action and that statement. They were all agreed upon it. Then likewise, this also has to be accepted. It's an obligation to accept this, ijma'. And that is because ijma', the consensus of the companions, is a ruling that is considered. That is considered, and it is a proof in and of itself, regardless of whether we know an evidence for it or if we do not know an evidence for it. So whether we know it to be something of the Sunnah or not, as long as the Sahaba are agreed upon, that they agree upon this particular affair, then we have to accept it from them. Like the fourth scenario now, ما كان مخالفا فيه, that which is differed in regards. صحابي خالفه صحابي أو أصحاب, فهذا يعرض على الدليل ينظر في دليله, فما كان دليله أقوى فهو بالقبول أسعد. So that which is differed in regards, a companion, his statement or his action is in opposition to another companion or a group of the companions, then this has to be put in context with the evidence. So it has to be put in context with the evidence, and then is looked into. We look into each one, and whichever one the evidence is more in line with, then that is the one that is more likely to be accepted, or that we accept.
Did you say that's the third one?
This is the fourth one. Afwan.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the fourth one. So we had, so the two things that we just mentioned prior to that was a subcategory of the third point.
Okay. No, yeah, I've got the third point, but I've got like A, B, and then I've got C, so this is the fourth one.
Yeah, so instead of C, this is the fourth one, Afwan. So this is a separate thing. We had a subcategory there. So the subcategory of the third thing, which was, Shaykh said it can be of two scenarios. So there were only two scenarios in there. And now we have the fourth point. طيب. As we mentioned, with regards to the Masail, with regards to the Sahaba and many. There are many affairs that we could discuss, and we could sit here all night discussing with regards to the Sahaba, from their virtues and that which took place with regards to them, and also examples of following them. There are so many things that we could mention, and that the Imma and the Ulama have mentioned in their books. However, bi'idhnillah, we'll suffice with what we mentioned today, and perhaps another time that we can expand upon it and go into more detail, especially with regards to those important affairs with regards to the Sahaba. But in general, this is our Aqīdah, the Aqīdah of Al-Sunnah wal Jama'ah in relation to the companions. This is our belief and our Aqīdah in relation to the companions in general. And perhaps, bi'idhnillah ta'ala, we can discuss in more detail another time and mention some more of their virtues and other masail that pertain to the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But no doubt is of great importance. Hence why Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam said, "Alaykum bi sunnati wa sunnati al-khulafa al-rashidin al-mahdiyyin." Upon you is my sunnah and the sunnah of the khulafa al-rashidin, rightly guided khulafa. So no doubt, the affair is of high importance. And it is a tremendous principle, tremendous foundation from the Aqīdah and the belief of Ahl-Sunnah wal Jama'ah. And the ulama have authored many books and discussed the affairs of in relation to the companions in great detail. But we will suffice with what we mentioned today. ونكتفي بهذا وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.